Good afternoon, everyone. The title of this session is See the World from Treetops. What does this title mean for us English teachers? It means that when you open the window in September, when the children come to school, you can see the world of changing seasons. And this is how our new book is organized. So you start your journey in September when the children come to classroom, and what can you see? You can see totally different children. Each of them is a different person. They've got different personality. They behave in a different way. They've got different background. They've got different interests. As you can see, each of them would like to be someone else. Yes, someone wants to be a doctor. Another one wants to be a teacher, and so on. And let's try to think why. I think that one of the things that underlie this problem is different kind of intelligence. Are you familiar with this Gardner's theory of multiple intelligences? How many types of intelligence do we have? There are 9 different types of intelligence. And each of us is supposed to have a different type of intelligence. Probably most of us are mixed. Okay, and the same about our children. We know that they are all different, but there are also many similarities between them. You know it perfectly because you teach them. When your first graders come to the classroom in September, we know and we immediately see that they are very dynamic. So they can't sit still for a second. They are very active. That's related. So they love jumping, running, and so on. You know, there are problems with discipline and so on. Another thing they've got in common is they are quite motivated. They want to learn, don't they? They are very eager to learn new things, especially when they've got those new pencil cases, colorful notebooks. So they want very much to learn new things. The next thing is they are very creative. So if you give them something artistic to do, some plasticine, some colorful paper, whatever, they would like to create something. What does this magnifying glass mean? That means that they've got very inquiring minds and they would like to know everything about the surrounding world. That means the world as a whole, the whole nature, animals, everything. They would like to know everything about the surrounding world. But the problem is that the classroom is not the real world for them. Sometimes we've got the impression that they are interested in everything but not in the lesson. So what is real world for them? Somebody's pencil case is a very interesting thing. Yes, the person sitting next to them, I will have to look what they have in their pencil case. Somebody's lunchbox. Very often they compare what mommy has prepared for lunch and the world outside the window. There are lots of interesting things happening around. The engine passing by, some people passing by, maybe the rainbow, maybe it's raining or something. And many other different things because they've got different interests, they love different toys, they've got friends, maybe there is somebody's birthday party. So those are the things that they're thinking about, not necessarily the English lesson. So what are we going to do in today's session? In today's session, we are going to think about all those features that children have in common, and we are going to think about how to use them during our lessons. How to use the fact that they've got multiple intelligences. How to use their creativity during the lessons. Their curiosity about the world. Natural communication skills, because children, little children, are very open and they are natural communicators. How to use their dynamic and active nature to our benefit, their motivation, that is eagerness to learn, and how to develop their cognitive skills. Because they already have some cognitive skills like thinking, analyzing, comparing, and we want to develop them. And last but not least, we will try throughout this session to think how to bring the real world into the classroom, and we can do that that not only by teaching English words, phrases and so on, but we can do it by means of something called CLIL. Are you familiar with this abbreviation, with this term? That has become quite fashionable because it has been promoted by the European Commission. Let us decipher the abbreviation. CLIL means Content and Language Integrated Learning. It's an educational approach in which part of all school subjects are taught through an additional language. The aims, procedures and outcomes of CLIL lessons relate both to the subject being taught and to the language. According to the original idea, CLIL means teaching other subjects, non-linguistic subjects like biology, chemistry, or generally speaking science, history, in another language. Yes, not in Polish, for example. It has many advantages, teaching other subjects via teaching English, because it builds intercultural knowledge and understanding, first of all, because children get to know other cultures, other nations, other countries. It improves language competence and oral and communication skills, because children have more occasions to speak English and talk about different topics. It develops multilingual interest and attitude, so this is very important for the general child's development. We can develop and show them different interests. It allows learners more contact with the target language, just as I said, more chances to speak about different things. And it diversifies methods and forms of classroom practice. We try to implement some methods used by other teachers. What can we take, for example, from biology teachers? Some experiments, or bringing some, natural things to the classroom. From the math teachers, counting, adding, subtracting, and so on, which will make our lessons more interesting. Let's have a look at this topic, amazing animals. This is something that everybody does in English lessons because children love animals. Have a look at this title, Amazing Animals. Which subjects do you think we are teaching when analyzing this topic? Geography, right. Anything else? Geography? We're doing music because there are lots of songs. Science, like parts of the body, animal groups, mammals, birds, and so on. Physical education. We can ask them to show how animals move, yes, show parts of the body. Language arts. We can write a poem, or ask them to read a poem. Rhyme, right, or prepare one of their own. History. We are teaching them about animals of the past, right? Dinosaurs. Yes, that's one of children's favorite topics, right? Okay. Two more. Arts and crafts, because we can make them to prepare animal masks, some prints, and so on. Lots of artistic things, projects. And maths, as you said, right? Because we can ask and talk about measurements, show them some graphs, charts, analyze some numbers. I will show you some other examples. Those examples are taken from Treetops, our new course for lower primary children. English through art. Why am I talking about that? Because I've heard from many teachers that they have the impression that doing some arts during the English classes is sometimes a waste of time, because we just ask them to draw something, to make some kind of artistic project, and they are not using the language. But if we think about it, we can make a good use of their artistic project. We can ask them to draw a comic, we can ask them to make a bird, and here we've got an activity from Treetops, and have a look at how it works. The instruction is make a fantasy animal and talk about your animal. So after they have made this beautiful picture, they take it with them, they can go around the class and talk about it. And everybody can talk about the animal they have prepared. In fact, an artistic project can be a good incentive for talking, yes, for speaking. English through intercultural activities. Treetops is great as far as culture is concerned, because it's got culture pages at the end. I wanted to show you one of them. This is the Easter page, and what you can see is the song, the beautiful picture showing all the things connected with Easter, and children are asked to prepare those rabbit ears or whatever. So another artistic project. So we've got lots of culture in the book itself. lots of discussions and comparing English culture with Polish culture, because this is more appealing for children, to compare both cultures, what they do in England, what they do in Poland, and so on. But we can also encourage children to look for English in the surrounding world, because they are not aware of it, that there is so much English. I teach secondary students, and sometimes they ask me, what's the word for this and that, for łupież? And I'm surprised that they don't know this word. I say to them, do you ever look at the labels? When you buy an anti-dandruff shampoo, all the labels in Poland are in English now. So if secondary students don't do it, probably little children are not aware of that as well. So you can tell them, there are so many labels around us, so many advertisements in English, just look at them. What can we encourage children to look at? Labels on food and other supermarket items. Labels on clothing, advertising slogans in the press or TV. Shops with English names. Most shops in Poland now have got English names. Do you agree? Street signs and posters for tourist attractions. Exit, entrance, pull, push. They will ask you, what's the word for chocolates in English? And you say, haven't you noticed? It's on all the door in our country, everywhere. So we just have to make them aware that English is everywhere. English through maths. Some examples from Treetops. Here you've got a wonderful exercise, which I'm sure children will enjoy, because that involves encoding and decoding messages. So they've got the letters of the alphabet, they've got the numbers, and what they've got to do is to encode a message for their friend. The friend gets the message, the numbers only, and what they have to do is to decode it. And we are teaching them numbers. Another activity connected with maths teaching, money, and matching coins and prices. And I think that activity brings the real world into our classroom, because this is something they will need. They have to learn how to use money, how to count it. And English through science, I think that this is most widely used in our classroom. And we can really explore science during our English lessons. Just to give you a couple of examples, we'll come back to talking about animals again. What you've got to do is to guess what animal I'm talking about. I'm going to ask you some questions. If you already know, we'll see how fast you can guess. You can see me at the zoo, I jump, I can swim and climb trees. It's not a monkey. I'm a mammal. I like meat. Do monkeys eat meat? I can run very fast. I'm a very big cat. I have orange and black stripes. I'm a tiger. And changing seasons. This is connected with science. As the seasons change, the nature changes, and we can talk about different natural phenomena with children. And this is how Treetops is organized. As I said, we start in September, autumn. Then the winter comes, then the spring comes with beautiful flowers on the trees, and then summer, and we finish school. I would like to pay your attention to other features of Treetops, which I think are very important for every course. And Treetops has all those features. For children to learn effectively, they must have the right context. The context that sort of creates a safe place for teaching for us and learning for them. What I would like you to do is to find the picture sort of reflecting the word context. Can you match them? Those signs have been taken from British and American streets. Some of them can be a little bit misleading, but do you know which one is it? At the top, at the bottom, context. A safe place. That's it. Tool. Language is a tool, because language does not exist in isolation, and we have to provide a lot of practical situations. That's easy, because there is one tool here. So the tool for communication, multiple intelligences, natural communication. As I said, children are natural communicators, but sometimes we have to show what the rules are, because everybody wants to speak at the same moment. So you have to teach them. Yes, there are some rules. Yes, you have to take turns. And the course book must teach that skill. Motivation, don't quit, of course. Interest, provide some kind of interesting topic. for everyone. And develop cognitive skills, and I will show you how Treetops does it. When incorporating other subjects into our English lessons. So that's the world of Treetops, a very safe place for children to live in. And who lives there? In the Treetops wood, there are 2 elves living, Bud and Holly. And there are also some animals. There is a squirrel, there is a mouse, and there is a hedgehog. How to create this safe context and make children feel as if they were in the forest. One of the suggestions is preparing a model of a forest. How can we do that? Have a look at this beautiful artistic project that children have made by themselves. To make this wood more familiar to them, you can ask them at the beginning of the year to create those models of the Treetops wood. And you can divide them into 4 groups, and each group has to prepare a model for a different season. What can you do with those models later on? You, of course, have to display them around the classroom, and then when the season comes, for example, the winter, you can take it out and you can talk about it. And you can encourage children to bring some real-life objects into the classroom, objects connected with the given season. Like, in autumn, they might bring rowan berries, or maybe acorns, or maybe chestnuts. And we can also display them and talk about them. This is how we sort of connect the real world outside with the classroom. Autumn is also a good occasion to increase children's motivation at the beginning of the school year. What can we do? We can not only bring the real world into the classroom, but we can also leave the classroom and go outside. But we don't have to go far. So imagine it is autumn and we are taking our class outside. We give each child a plastic bag, could be with the name of each child on it, and we can ask them to collect different objects connected with autumn. Some of them will bring beautiful leaves, colorful leaves. Maybe some will bring some rubbish, but it doesn't matter. It will be bringing the real world into the classroom, and we can talk about those objects later on. Another nice idea that I think children might like is this tape bracelet. How do you prepare it? It is made of sellotape with this sticky side outside. So you ask the children to go outside, look around the playground and find different objects connected with autumn, and what they do is sticking them, which will create a beautiful piece of jewelry. And we can also talk about it. And the last activity, called I Spy Walk, happens when you take them outside again and you ask them to go around the playground for 3 or 4 minutes, not too long, and try to observe all the things connected with autumn. Then they come back to you, they sit on their benches or blankets or whatever, and you give them this I Spy worksheet. So they look at it, they take a pencil, and they have to tick all the things that they have seen. And of course, the child with the greatest number of ticks is the winner. I think they are honest at that age, and they won't cheat. As a reward, for example, for the child who had the biggest number of ticks, you can let them take Bud and Holly home. So your beautiful mascots will go with them for the weekend. You can ask them to make those representations of Bud and Holly and attach them to a stick, right? Take them home. What do? They take Bud and Holly home, they show them around their houses, or maybe outside. They can take them for a walk into the park. If they want to, they can take some pictures, if mom and daddy allow them to use the camera. Then they can take the pictures to the classroom, and we can work with the pictures. And every child can tell other children what Bud and Holly have seen on their journey. That's an example of a great artistic project that you can prepare in autumn. That's very easy because those are arm prints, as you can easily see. So children make those arm prints on a big sheet of paper, and they can either draw the leaves themselves or they can attach to it all the things that they have found out previously. And later on, talk about it as well. And it is a good occasion to talk about autumn colors. So we will not only talk about easy colors like red and blue and yellow, but also orange, brown, and so on. In autumn, we also collect food for winter. And again, we can make it a real-life activity. We can bring plastic or paper plates into the classroom, and we can bring some real-life objects. You can bring some apples, some carrots, whatever. You can ask the children to bring something. And what we are going to do is to discuss who's going to eat what. So I have prepared plates for the mouse and the squirrel, and the plates for Bud and Holly, and we will talk together. Who eats candies? Or for example, do a mouse eat a candy? How about corn? How about a nut? A squirrel? Or you can ask us, go on with asking questions with does. Does Bud like nuts? Or does Holly? And as a homework, you can set this. So this is making preserves for the winter. I think that other teachers, especially integrated teachers, will be very happy, because this is actually something that they are probably talking about in their lessons. How to use the language as a tool, because language is a tool for natural communication. And have a look at this story taken from Treetops. In this story, Bud and Holly found a pencil case. And what they are doing is they are playing with those different things they have found in their pencil case. They are making some toys. And now we can ask children to take out all the things that they've got in their pencil cases and make some toys for Bud and Holly. So they will really engage in this activity. They will make their own toys, and I think they will become more and more creative. Now winter comes. What can we do in winter? While performing those activities, we can develop a lot of cognitive skills. Like, for example, analyzing and learning about some processes. Now I would like you to look at this story taken from Treetops and listen to the recording. I would like you to listen to the recording because it has been prepared in cooperation with BBC. So the audio is of very good quality, the best possible. So please have a look at the story, listen to the story, and I will ask you 2 questions. Number 1, what children will learn from this story? And another question, can you think about some creative activities to do afterwards?
Listening 33. Bud's New Pet. Page 42. Activity 1.
Look, Holly, I've got a pet, a caterpillar. And I've got some food for my pet, a leaf. And I've got a bed for my pet. Good night. Sleep well. Where's my pet? Here, Bud. Look. Goodbye, beautiful butterfly.
Okay, can you tell me which subject are we teaching? Science, yes, of course, science. What exactly are the children learning? A life cycle of a butterfly, right? Okay. And also, they learn how to look after a pet. What else can we do afterwards? Can you think about some creative activity? A drama. So they act out the roles. Beautiful. Make a butterfly, exactly. Or even the whole cycle. Of course, we won't do it in a way that all the children do. Drawing in their biology notebooks complicated cycles. But we can do it in a very funny way by using different types of pasta. We can stick them onto this paper plate, which will represent the life cycle of a butterfly, or make this beautiful butterfly. This is quite an inventive method because we have used a Ziploc, colorful tissue paper inside to make this beautiful butterfly. Or it can be followed by a caterpillar race if you would like to prepare a piece of paper for every group, because we are going to divide our students into groups with a drawing presenting something that a caterpillar would like to eat. I've got an apple, but you can draw a leaf or whatever, and you have made those little holes in it, and you've got a shoelace which will represent the caterpillar. And what we've got to do in groups is to put the shoelace through a hole that the first child does, and then passes it to the next child, who puts the shoelace through the next hole, and so on and so forth. And the group who finish first are the winners. And I'm sure they will remember all the words, especially caterpillar, very well. So let us summarize. We have talked about suitable context, which must be safe and familiar. We have talked about motivation, lots of interesting topics. Language as a tool, as it doesn't exist in isolation. Cognitive skills, we have to help children to develop them, and using other subjects will help us with that. Natural communication and multiple intelligences. And we also talked about CLIL. We've got CLIL times now. Can you once again tell me what it means? Do you remember? Content and language integrated learning. So we have come to the end of our journey. We have closed the last window in June. And I wish you that when you close this last window in June, you will have a feeling of satisfaction that you have done your job well and you have integrated all other subjects into English. Thank you very much, and
Holly.